This segment of CoastLife was brought to you by Procino-Wells and Woodland Law.
All right, team, today on CoastLife, we are talking about something that can be a little uncomfortable and maybe a little scary, thinking about the future, and that's elder care. Maybe it's you're getting older, and who's going to take care of you? What are you going to do? Or a family member. Let's all take a deep breath. There are some answers to your questions. I don't have them. My friend Michele Procino-Wells has those. Thank you so much for being here today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's a lot to talk about, right? We're talking about maybe it's your family member and they're getting older or they're sick, and you really want the best care, of course, for your loved one. So long-term care specifically, I just want to start off by asking you, what's considered long-term care? Is that a month? Is that the rest of someone's life? How does that work?
Yeah, so it depends,
Okay.
obviously. So long-term care, we usually refer to that when we're talking about someone receiving care at home, and that could be for a short period of time, but long-term is usually where someone needs that sort of custodial type care that's going to last for an extended period of time. So long-term care incorporates care at home, care in a facility, either like an assisted living type of facility or a skilled nursing facility, a traditional nursing home.
Okay, that makes sense. So if people are making this decision, something that comes up a lot is the cost.
Yes.
I'm thinking, just from what I know, it's expensive.
Yes.
Is this true?
Yes.
Okay.
It can be very expensive. And again, depending on the level of care that a person needs, there's a great survey that's done annually by the Genworth Company.
Okay.
And in Delaware, it's nice because that survey looks at numbers for each state, and in larger states, the geographic regions within the state. But in Delaware, Genworth estimates that for care at home, a person's going to spend about $6,000 a month.
Wow.
And that's not round the clock. That's
Right.
about 44 hours a week of in-home care.
Wow.
Assisted living facilities, they can spend about $7,000 a month. And for skilled nursing, $14,000 every month.
And this isn't necessarily something that you plan for, right? No one plans for a family member to get sick per se. Some of us maybe do, but sometimes this can be a sudden thing that happens in someone's life.
It definitely can be, and you're right that people don't plan for it. I have so many families share with me that, oh, my loved one is never going to go to a nursing home, but sometimes that's really the best thing. That's the only way to keep a person safe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so many people just don't plan for it.
So let's talk then misconceptions or maybe wrong ideas and clear some things up when it comes to insurance, long-term care insurance.
Yeah, so when we work with families, we talk about payer sources. How are people going to pay when you're looking at $14,000 a month for care? How are families going to pay for that? And so there are so many misconceptions. Older Americans have Medicare, but Medicare for long-term care is extremely limited. There's a very limited benefit, and there's all kinds of rules. You have to have a qualifying hospital stay. At most, it's going to cover part of 100 days. So Medicare is very limited. People pay out of pocket. Some people have long-term care insurance, but a lot of people have a real false sense of security with long-term care insurance because it's so limited. A person can have a policy that covers $200 a day, which is fabulous until the cost of care is nearly $500 a day, and they still have a significant shortfall.
Exactly. So if this is maybe, people are getting maybe a little worried listening to this,
Right.
But you do offer a lot of help. So if someone needs some questions answered, or they want to know what are their other options when it comes to payment plans, something like that, how do you all help?
So we do a lot of planning for clients. There's pre-planning for someone who doesn't need care now, and they hopefully won't need care within the next 5 years. There's certain trusts that we use. There's planning that can be done where people can set aside some of their assets that they can protect so that down the road, if they need long-term care, they can apply for state long-term care benefits that can help them pay. Or we work with a lot of families who someone needs care right now. I met with a family this morning, and they're paying $14,000 a month for mom's care. And so there's planning that we can do at the last minute as well to help shelter assets. All the planning that we do is based on federal and state law. There's another huge misconception out there that people think if they haven't planned far in advance that it's too late, that there's nothing that they can do, and that's not true. If there are assets left, there's planning that can still be done to help protect some of them.
All right, good to know. So hopefully you can all take a side together, right? There's options. There's options.
Yes.
Perfect. Michelle, how can they get in touch with you?
They can reach out to my office. Or they can call the office, but usually the best way is to check out our website at pwwlaw.com, and that's going to give them a link. That's going to give them all kinds of information. Too, on our website, there's always our upcoming events, workshops. So for people who are interested in these topics, come to one of our workshops. That's a way you can learn a lot more.
Perfect. Sounds good, Michelle. Well, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for helping all of us out today, but every day as well. All right, you guys, so if you have some questions, of course, don't forget to go online right now and really just taking care of your family members and yourself. It's so important, and people like Michelle are here to help. CoastLife will be back in just a minute, guys. Stay with us.